welcome back to my channel. So today's weekly haul, or just mishmash haul, is a super exciting one. There are some real gems in here, and I can't even wait to get started because there's actually two that I haven't even opened yet. There's some pre-loved, there's some decants, there's some niche. There's a little of everything for everyone. So without any further ado, if you are interested, just keep watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, and let's get started. We're gonna start with my monthly royalty scents decants because this month is really the month. You know, I like to try my decants before I film, so I have tried them, but we will retry them right now. And oh my God, I'm so excited. They are both fragrances I've wanted to try forever. And finally I've got the decants, and they're both super expensive. So I'm really happy to have decants. The first one, it has been on my wish list for, I can't even think how long. And it's Oud Ispahan by Christian Dior. You guys may remember when I picked up Oud Ispahan by Boucheron, I mentioned that I wanted, because I was Persian, to get both the Ispahan fragrances that I knew existed. I've had Oud Ispahan for a very, very long time, and I love that one. I think it's beautiful, and I'm really happy to have a full bottle of it. But I haven't been able to, actually, I don't even think I've ever really actively tried to get Oud Ispahan. I think once I almost bought a kind of pre-loved bottle that was maybe 80% full, but everyone successfully talked me out of it because apparently it should not be bought blind. And now that I've tried it, I have my own thoughts about that. But anyways, this one lists labdanum, rose, patchouli, saffron, oud, sandalwood, and cedar. Let's open it. Part of why I like royalty scents is, I mentioned this before, each of their scents, every time you get a box, comes in its own atomizer, because if you don't finish them, I hate when there are companies that don't give you a new atomizer for every scent. So this is okay, the second thing I love, and this may just be me, I love to see what colors, their new colors that they get. Anyways, I like that. So here's the juice. I also like looking at the juice. It's a very light pink. Let's remind ourselves, because I've worn it once before. Obviously, when I first got the box, I couldn't even wait. I am just going to share how I feel, obviously, and I just want to make this clear that I think I was talked out of this, or scared into thinking that this was a harder oud to handle than it actually is. Obviously, I don't think this is your beginner level oud. That's a whole other, ball game if you're just coming into it completely blind. This oud is a hard note to just come into blind, especially if you're not used to Middle Eastern fragrances, or you're not Middle Eastern. It's not an easy one to just step into. I accept that. But if you've been around the block with oud, or if you're very into fragrances like I am, I was still, the way people talked about how hard this is to handle, I was expecting a very barnyard, animalic, something difficult to handle. Oh my God, you guys, this is beautiful. And it's so, I mean, I was just really taken aback. I like it, don't get me wrong, I definitely like it. But I think I was just so shocked that it was described as being so hard to handle and that you shouldn't buy blind. I felt like I could have easily bought this blind. Maybe I've just bought way too many things blind that now it shocks me. But the only thing I would really struggle with a lot, more than anything else, is animalic fragrances. I would very much not buy them blind, because I know how hard they are to handle for me, and I wouldn't I don't even like them as a sample. So I wouldn't want to buy full bottles blind. But this is a really, really nice, strong, woody oud. There's a little bit of rose in there, which you might think is every other rosy oud out there, but I think the rose really takes a back seat. And I think the patchouli and the oud and the labdanum really take a front seat. And because I've sampled this before and I can I've tried it before once, I can say it really does stay around. I mean, there's good performance and there's good sillage and all the things you'd want out of a good oud. But on top of that, I feel like it really doesn't, like, I would say if you don't like the opening, you won't like the fragrance as a whole. I don't find that it really like eases up as you wear it. And I personally like that about it. I actually also really like that the rose isn't so, at least on my skin, the rose isn't like a primary actor. It's there, I can certainly smell it, but I've just got a lot of like rosy ouds that are more rose. And I like how this one's a little bit stronger on the woodiness and the kind of almost sour patchouli, which usually I wouldn't be into, admittedly, but with oud, it's a whole other ball game. So I'm really happy with this. Now, having had a decant, I think if I were to finish this, if I see myself really reaching for it a lot, which is going to be hard to do because I'm already terrified of using it because I'm insane like that with fragrances I like. But if I find myself getting near the end, it's a scent that I would actually hunt down and try to get for as good of a deal as I can, because now I'm certain I like it. I'm certain it's something that I can easily handle. And yeah, I just don't want anyone else to fall into the same trap of thinking that it's too hard to handle, because I don't think it is at all. The second one from Royalty Scents was another one I've been wanting to try. Admittedly, not as long as the Oud Ispahan, but love Don't Be Shy by Kilian. How many of us have heard the age-old story that this is the amazing scent that Rihanna wears, that everyone's obsessed with and everyone loves, and I had to get it. So this lists actually a lot of notes, and it has neroli, bergamot, pink pepper, coriander, orange blossom, jasmine, honeysuckle, rose, iris, sugar, vanilla, caramel, musk, civet, and labdanum. I was surprised by the civet. I also was so thrown by the color. I love this juice color. If I ever make a fragrance line, I need to make this juice color. I think it's beautiful. It also reminds me of, I think, Shanghai Lily by Tom Ford has this kind of dark, bright pink or orangey. Anyways, I love it. So again, let's remind ourselves, because I remember, and you can see it, like when you spray it on your skin, the color is so vibrant that it's, okay. I remembered when I first smelled this, I was really, because it was right after I smelled Oud Ispahan, I was really struck by how sweet it is. I think it's like a huge juxtaposition between the two, because one is so like devoid of sweetness and this one was so sweet. And I don't know if this is just my experience, and I don't know if it's because I'm only spraying one spray at a time, whereas if I had a full bottle, I'd be spraying like crazy. But it has this interesting thing where I feel like it lasts a long time on my skin, but it doesn't really project a lot. Again, it might just be because I'm only wearing one spray, but I thought that was interesting. It's certainly long lasting, but it doesn't really project. And when I'm like wafting around, there's not a lot of sillage. So that aside, it's lovely. It's very sweet. I get kind of like a sugary orange blossom, like just neroli bomb. I would get no civet. I don't get any pink pepper. I do get a very like sugary vanilla. It's just very sweet white floral. That's essentially it. It, for some reason, reminds me of something that I already own that I have not been able to put my mind to. So if I ever figure it out, I'll let you guys know on Instagram. But listen, I like it. I certainly love it. It's totally up my alley and my vibe. I think it was just kind of like the opposite where I so love it, but I think the hype of this one just threw me in for a loop that it was going to be something a little bit more interesting than just a sweet white floral. I really like it. I don't think it's generic smelling at all, but for people to like lose their mind over it, maybe it was just because it was the Rihanna scent, I'm not sure. But anyways, Love Don't Be Shy, Kilian. I would get a full bottle because I think it's nice, but I wouldn't rush out and I wouldn't go get it retail or anything. But I think it's a nice one, and I really like the juice color, and I feel like if you like a sweet, sugary white floral, then it's worth checking out. Okay, so the next one, oh my gosh, I've waited so long. I can't believe I've managed to wait so long because I've waited so long to even try it. This is a bit of a different fragrance purchase altogether. I have for, again, very many years, since I was like a teenager or something, had this like fascination of trying out Florida water. And Florida water is like the American version of kind of like the America's take on an eau de cologne. I believe it was first created in New York by Murray and Landman. It's still made today. There's a whole lot of like backstory and uses and mythology about this scent and Florida water in general on their website. I won't get into all that. I can link it in the description box below for you guys if you want to check into it, but it's from like everything you could imagine has been written about it to use in like as something that's like sacred water, or just something to do with like, I've heard everything under the sun about this. And honestly, the mythology or the stories have been a huge part of the intrigue of why I've wanted to wear this and for me to try it. And part of it is because I'm a huge fan of eau de colognes in general. European eau de colognes, you guys know me. I'm a huge fan of those kinds of scents. So I was like, why not try the American version? So I never picked it up in person when I visited the States. I don't know why, I just forgot. And I kept putting it off. It was like this weird thing that I kept putting off and off and off. And then finally I just ordered it off Amazon. I got the 16 fluid ounce, so it's 472 mils in the plastic bottle. It's way easier and there's way more compartments, and I don't want to say versions, but there's just a lot easier to get this in the States obviously than in Canada, but this is the one I went with. And let's just see, because it's a splash bottle, but I've waited so long and the package has been sitting here so I could film this. So the notes listed are just sweet orange, lemon, neroli, lavender, and cloves, I believe. So I'm expecting it to just smell like many of the eau de colognes. It has kind of like this sort of, maybe I'll just pour it out and, ooh. Okay, right off the bat, there's a real, which is weird because it's not in the scent at all, but there's a real like almost minty freshness to this. It's very citrusy, but I wasn't expecting like almost spearmint. Like it's got a real freshness. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful. I really like it. It's definitely its own take to the eau de cologne. It doesn't really smell like the quintessential like German eau de cologne or the French ones or something. This is a lot more minty. It's a lot more, I don't even want to say herbal, but it has like a lot more of a green hint to it. Whereas I feel like at least 4711, like the original, is a little more like Neroli Portofino citrus side. I really like this. I can see myself using this like after baths again, just like as an all over spray, or I guess dab, since it's in a dabber bottle. I have bought myself 30 ml decant bottles, so I actually won't have to keep it in this. And I just realized I can decant some and put it in that spray bottle, which is personally just exciting for me because I've decanted some of my larger like pink sugars that were like in decants like this. So I'm already just personally excited. I really, really like it. I definitely recommend. I think, especially if you're in the States and you can get it for so inexpensive, you can get like huge bottles of this and you're looking for a nice eau de cologne, why not get a local one? For all my Canadians out there, you can find them on Amazon. In different countries, just take a look, probably Amazon, but they have their own website where they have all their uses and everything you can use it for. So I am gonna just check out their website again and check it out, but I'm really happy with it. I'm so happy to finally have it in my collection, and I am excited to use it probably year round, because with my eau de colognes, especially before bed, I really, really like to wear eau de colognes, and that's a really nice one. So then I think I'm gonna leave the new bottle that I haven't smelled for last. The next one is actually a pre-loved bottle that I picked up, and it's a replica. It's a Maison Margiela, and that is because there's a whole story there. So this is Lipstick On. As you can see, it's probably got 2/3 of it left. And I remember when this was coming out, you guys, it was like a dream. I was like, a lipsticky fragrance, and I love replica scents. This is gonna be my scent. And I don't want to say I made a mistake of doing this, but I did tell my mom as well, because she loves lipsticky fragrances. And this just kind of morphed into being her scent. She's gone through a couple bottles of them, and I never owned a bottle for myself. I never did. It got discontinued, and it just kind of became her scent. And I've always wanted one, but then once it got discontinued, it just stopped being worth it for me to kind of pay an extortion price to get a full bottle. And someone was selling their pre-loved bottle, and I was like, okay, I think enough time has gone by where she's moved on to different scents. I can just have a known bottle for myself. And here's what, here's what I got, and I was so happy. This was Heliotrope, Bergamot, Neroli, Iris, Galbanum, Orange Blossom, Tonka, Bourbon, Vanilla, and Patchouli. I will spray it over here, but I do obviously know what this one smells like. It's very much my kind of scent, as you can imagine. I have no clue why they discontinued this. I think this is one of the best fragrances they've ever come out with. The provenance and period, because they always put that, is Chicago 1952, and it's supposed to smell like night blush and rice powder. I also was excited about getting this because I've always wanted to compare it to L'Ange Noir by Givenchy, which is always said to be a dupe. I adore that fragrance. It's a very like realistic almond sliver scent. I do think there are similarities, but it's always been kind of hard to compare because I had to go and get my mom's bottle, and I think I might have done a video ages ago when I tried to compare the two. But now that I've got my own, if you're interested, I can include it in my whenever I do my next dupe video. So I was very, very excited to get this one, and you guys already know I was gonna love it. I just had to tell you guys, it is now part of my collection. I feel like I'm getting so many replica scents. All of a sudden, I've gone from like one to a whole bunch, but very happy to have that one. All right, and lastly, but definitely not least, I went to Marshall's again. Of course I did, and they have really been killing it with the Juliette Has A Gun fragrances. I feel like they're popping up everywhere. I don't know if it's just like huge shipments all across the country. Maybe you guys have them in your TJ Maxx in the States as well, but I've been picking them all up, every single one, except for the ones I already owned. I'm on it. And there's one that I heard other people were finding and I could not find, so I was really happy to find one, and then I got it. So this is Gentlewoman by Juliette Has A Gun, of course. I've never smelled this one, not even at Sephora, and I was really, really excited to find it, like I said, because I felt like everyone was finding it. This one lists Neroli, Bergamot, Orange Blossom, Musk, Coumarin, Cashmere, and woody notes. And you guys, doesn't that sound exactly like me? Oh my God, I wasn't expecting the navy bottle. Those notes made me think like orange or pink or something a little more feminine, but I have very high hopes for this. Very, very high hopes that this is gonna be like an Orange Blossom Neroli Dream. I tend to have good luck with Juliette Has A Gun. Oh my God, this already smells like Tom Ford, what have you. A little bit of Neroli Portofino, I think. I've got to compare. I definitely have to compare. This smells like Neroli Portofino or just a lot of his blue-green bottles, Tom Fords, that are very like Italian Neroli bergamot based. Oh my God, I was not expecting that. Yeah, you get a lot of Neroli. It's kind of like a Neroli Orange Blossom bomb, like I was expecting and hoping. It's not very sweet, but I don't find that the bergamot is bringing a whole lot of tartness to it. I'm curious to see if it does get woody or musky as it wears. It is a bit musky, but I'm curious to see if it actually gets woody, because right now it's so reminiscent of those Tom Ford Italian scents that I don't really see it. Yeah, I don't see it darkening up. There is actually like maybe a smidge of sweetness. I am thrown a little bit by the name though. I feel like Gentlewoman, while this can definitely be worn by women, of course, this is a very unisex smelling scent to me. It's got that whole, I mean, the Tom Ford's ones, the 4711 Eau de Cologne, like that kind of scent is so easily unisex. And of course, every scent is, but just with the name and the marketing, I felt like it was a strange direction for them to go, but I really do like it. It smells almost a little clean musk as well. Yeah, I'm really, really into that one. So that is Gentlewoman by Juliette Has A Gun. Okay, this was one of the hardest ones to put in order because honestly, I was smelling all of them back and forth, and I love them all. Like, even the ones that I first sprayed, I'm like, oh, they're a little this, they're a little that, maybe. Like, I love them all completely, and I mean, that's the mark of a good haul. But I did my best to kind of put them in some order of what I'm most excited to wear and try. Oh, and even so, it's hard. The last place was probably the easiest, and the only reason is because I felt like it was the one I had the most of in my collection. Gentlewoman is very much my type of scent. It has gotten a little bit further from those Neroli Portofinos. The more it stayed on my skin, it's got a little bit more musky and kind of like a clean musky. I love it though. Like, don't get me wrong. I think it's 100% worth the like reduced price as well. I would very much recommend, and I will 100% be wearing it. I just think it's like the one that's closest to other things in my collection, so it had to come last. Here onwards, it just gets hard. In fourth place, I'm putting Florida Water. I love it though. Like, I really, really do like it. I have to say, obviously, because it's so light and it's just an eau de cologne, I put it lower on the list. There's going to be less times of the, I mean, I just really wouldn't wear it out. That's the only thing I'm going to say. This is more of like an at-home, relaxing, sleep type fragrance, and you have to decant it. Or I mean, I guess you could use it in this, but I will be decanting it, so it kind of like adds to the price. I was trying to think of reasons why, and for that reason, it's a little bit lower on the list. But number 3, I put Oud Ispahan. I like it. Like, I really do like it. Again, I was trying to think more logically there, because it's so strong, there really wouldn't be a way that I would wear this year round. I would only wear it on like cool fall days into winter. It's too dark and too damp and too strong and earthy and woody and all of the things for spring and summer, 100%, and even warm fall days. So for that reason, and especially if you live in somewhere like tropical, I wouldn't even bother getting this one personally. In second place, I put Love Don't Be Shy by Kilian. This is a fragrance where I can easily wear year round. It's a sugary white floral. I mean, it screams me. It's a decant that I can easily throw in my purse. It's very feminine. I'm unsure of whether I would get a full bottle just because of like the price compared to my collection. Would I ever need it? But it's one I would 100% get if I found on a deal. So I love the scent. And in first place, of course, I have to put lipstick on. Even just having it in my collection now, I'm like so enamored. I'm so happy. This is going to be one of those fragrances that once I finish this bottle, I'm going to like write to Maison Margiela that they need to come out with it again. Like it boggles my mind that they discontinued it. I think it's stunning. One of the best lipsticky fragrances out there. And I'm so happy and excited to wear it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this haul. As always, don't forget to leave me in the comments below which one of these fragrances you've tried or you'd like to try. Don't forget to subscribe here, follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you next time. Bye.